Sagan could not have predicted 2021, but he did see it coming. He wrote the following back in 1995, and we quote, "I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide almost without noticing back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media, the 30-second sound bites now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance." Roll that around for a while. Those were among his final published words. He died 10 months later. Here we are 25 years later, realizing just what he was trying to tell us back then.
Ashton Forbes, you know, that super jacked guy.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Even as these grainy satellite images released today by the Chinese government.
Again, the Malaysian flight too was one shot at China saying knock it out.
Why shoot it down though if it's not hostile?
Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
Why the Americans would?
They'd be distance annihilated.
This country is very powerful. Far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world. Not even close.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should be his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
Chat, I get so hyped. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. OMG, it is all going down. Guys, it feels like we are in the middle of disclosure. It feels like we are watching it play out right in front of us, and no one really even realizes that it's actually happening. Guys, there is so much weird stuff going on that I want to talk through today. I don't even know where to begin. You know what? Let's just begin right here. What the hell is this? Why am I looking at 3 orbs spinning around in the sky in a triangle formation? Why am I looking at orbs spinning around in a triangle formation? Yet again. Yet again, chat. 3 orbs in a perfect triangle formation spinning around on all axes. No big deal. I didn't even post this video because it was boring to me. Because we've pushed so far beyond this. I guess normal people, this is still exciting for them. For me, normal people see this and they go, the aliens have arrived. The aliens love geometric shapes. They just love triangles for some reason. I look at this and I go, oh, it's just Lockheed Martin taking their orbs for a little midnight walk. They're just taking them out for a little charitable. The orbs need exercise. Your orbs need 1 hour of exercise every day. And you got to take them out and you got to just get them spinning around a little bit. It's not even amazing. Call me up, chat, when the orb starts spinning around and teleporting and disappearing out of the sky. 1-800 Ashton Forbes orb expert. I don't know. That's a lot of letters, but you get the point. So what do I think is going on here? Obviously, that's just glow-in-the-dark birds. That's how birds fly, chat. Birds fly in weird triangle formations, and they glow in the dark. You didn't know that? Well, I'll do a little bit more science next time. But realistically, that's apparently what the Redditors think that this is. We might have reached peak idiocracy when it comes to debunkers. Because at some point, you have to start to wonder if you are lying to yourself. If everything you see is a Chinese lantern or birds or balloons, maybe at some point you've been lying to yourself. Let's not dig too much into the psychology of it. Next major thing that's going on. Those orbs, people wonder, what is this, Ashton? So if it's not birds, if it's not glow-in-the-dark birds, then what could it be? Do I even have to say it? They're fusion reactors. They're plasma balls flying around in the sky. They're little plasma balls flying around in the sky. Now, do you want to know what the secret is? Would you like to know what the felony physics is, chat? Here you go. Physics for you from your professor. What is electricity? What is electricity? You say, Ashton, I thought you were going to tell me about the orbs. Now you're asking me what electricity is? Yeah, well, it's a simple ass question. You can't answer it. Electricity is a separation of positive and minus charge. That's simple, right? So let's say we take our positive and minus charge and we bring them together because they like to attract to each other. Positive and minus charge attract. This would be equilibrium. Equilibrium in the sense that everything is equalized. The positive and minus charges neutralize and create an equilibrium. So what's the opposite of that? Non-equilibrium. When you take your charges and you pull them apart, you separate them out. Now, guess what? When you do that process where you pull the electron away from the ion, the positive and minus charge away from each other and separate them, make them non-equilibrium, we have a name for this. We have a name for that state of matter. It's called plasma. What? You're telling me, Ashton, there's a direct connection between electricity, a separation of positive and minus charge, and plasma? You bet your sweet ass I am. And I'm taking it a step further. Remember, I said equilibrium is when the charges are coming together. But when you separate them really far apart, now you create a non-equilibrium plasma, a situation in which the positive and minus charges have been pulled apart from one another, separated away. In fact, there's a very famous physicist who promoted this idea, Ilya Prigogine. I'm looking for the title here. I thought I had it up, but I guess I don't. And Ilya Prigogine said, if you pull a system far from equilibrium, the systems have a tendency to self-organize. Order arises from chaos. Now you say, Ashton, bring this together for me. What does this all mean? What it means is this. Prepare to have your mind blown. A system that gets pulled far from equilibrium will self-organize and begin to produce coherent shapes, coherent geometries. What that means from our normie perspective is we can take plasma and its own electromagnetic field from separating the charges will begin to form a natural shape. all by itself. When normally you'd say, shouldn't it just be random? No, it's not random. The system doesn't immediately collapse. It doesn't immediately come apart. It actually stays together. The same way where if I blow a smoke ring, the smoke ring stays together. It doesn't just come apart. Huh. Okay. Why is this important? Because somebody on this planet Earth has developed these non-equilibrium fusion reactors, and they're flying them around in the sky. They're flying them around in the sky, and they're using them in operations. They probably have multiple purposes, but one of those purposes is teleporting Boeing 777s. That's what these non-equilibrium fusion reactors are doing. Look at that heat signature in that plasma orb. It's exhibiting a Bose-Einstein-like state. It's like a smoke ring. It's keeping its solid form. Even the heat signature stays the same, but it spins around. That is our surefire sign. This is a non-equilibrium plasma. In addition to the really cold temperature we can see of the other part of the sphere that is like almost the same as the background. Wow. And the biggest, to me, the best evidence for the United States government having literally developed this, having produced this. Oh, we got a lot of papers up here. Which one? Is, wait for it. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. Space propulsion by fusion in a magnetic dipole. I have talked about this paper so many times now. Edward Teller, father of the hydrogen bomb, possibly MJ number one when it comes to covering up all this technology. 1992, before we even knew what field reverse configuration meant, before the normal world had any idea what directed energy conversion or aneutronic fusion meant, here was Edward Teller saying, we're going to use field reverse configuration, aneutronic fusion for propulsion. This is a good decade before anybody else was even dreaming of these ideas. Tri-alpha energy, helium fusion. At least helium fusion didn't even get started until like 2014. Notice one of the names on this paper. This name looked really familiar to me. John F. Santarius. Huh. This is the same guy that is all over aneutronic fusion reactors related to George Miley. All over them. And he's a co-author on the paper with Edward Teller. Oops, that's not the one. Hold on. Oh, don't skip ahead, chat. He's a co-author on the paper with Edward Teller. Let me do this share. Here we go. This is the one I want. Including this 2016 presentation that I found called Aspects of Advanced Fuel FRC Fusion Reactions. Huh. Well, that's pretty neat, because that's exactly what we're looking at in these orbs. It's certainly the style configuration. And look, all the right words are being said here. Cross sections and Maxwellian reactivity, beta and B field utilization, plasma power, fusion density. I mean, this is right over the mark. So guess what, chat? Are you ready for this? I spoke to John Santarius, the good doctor, the PhD from University of Wisconsin. I picked up the phone and I said, I'm going to give him a call. Let's see if he's still alive. Sure enough, he picked up the phone. He picked up the phone, chat. And I did not hold back even a little bit. Now, first question you may ask is, should I even be talking about this conversation? And I thought about it. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Yes. This is what I will tell you about the conversation. I asked him straight up if he thinks the government has developed neutronic fusion reactors, propulsion. I asked him straight up if he would recognize an neutronic fusion reactor propulsion if he saw it with his own eyes. My guess is this guy probably gets a lot of cranks that message him with videos they see of orbs in the sky and shit and ask him about it. Why do I think that? Because people do that to me all the time. And he was very skeptical of what I was saying to him, and he did not believe that the U.S. government could have developed this technology. Didn't think it. He says, I'm on the cutting edge of fusion research, and I know we haven't cracked it yet. That was basically what he told me. And so I ended up sending him an email. I didn't get a response, so presumably I don't know if he saw it or not. No idea. But the big thing that he told me is this. You ready? I asked him if I was looking at an neutronic fusion reactor, would I see axial jets of X-rays come out of the fusion reactor? And if so, would that be Bremsstrahlung radiation or Cherenkov radiation? Well, I know what his answer was. Yes. And it would be Cherenkov radiation. He couldn't even wait for me to finish asking the question. He couldn't even wait for me to finish asking the question. And he said, that's Cherenkov radiation. Oh, sorry. My bad, sir. You're the fusion expert. My stupidness thinking it could have been Bremsstrahlung radiation. No, it's Cherenkov radiation. Those lines you're seeing come out of the orbs in the MH370 videos, that's Cherenkov radiation. Actually, can you see it in this color? Oh, you can't see it in this version. One sec. My bad, chat. There's a blue version that lets you see it real easily. Here you go. This one. Here's the lines. Look at those lines. Look at those lines, chat. Look at those X-rays shooting out of those fusion reactors. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Oh, he was like, no, it's Cherenkov radiation. I'm like, okay, you haven't even seen it yet, bro. You haven't even seen what I'm telling you about yet. And he was already showing it. So I said, you need to see what I'm about to show you, bro. Because they took your research and they definitely applied it. We are definitely looking at some fusion reactor orbs that are shooting X-rays out. Now, the reason why you see those X-rays is because what's happening is these are particle accelerators. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is just like the LHC, the CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. But they're not 20 miles in diameter. They're orbs that are like 3 meters in diameter, like 20 feet wide at the most, if you count the plasma ball. Those orbs are particle accelerators. What they're doing is they're accelerating the particles in the middle of their little fusion reactor. And why are they doing this? Because they're manipulating gravity. The whole reason we were afraid of the LHC is because they were accelerating particles, and relativity tells us when you do this, they get heavier. So people were freaking out and going, you're going to accelerate these particles and you're going to make a black hole and you're going to suck us all in and kill us all. Those people were stupid because that's not how it works, but their idea was correct. And so you could imagine these little fusion reactors are accelerating particles. And what happens is when the particles exceed the local speed of light in the medium, Cherenkov radiation gets emitted. So think of it like when you're violating the laws of physics and you're moving faster than the speed of light, radiation in the form of X-rays gets emitted. It's like the byproduct that comes out. So this is, I mean, those are definitely fusion reactors, and they are definitely manipulating relativity. They are definitely accelerating particles in those things. And I think that any expert like George Miley, John Santarius, these guys, they look at that and they're going to know immediately that that's real. They're going to know immediately that that's real. But here was my takeaway. I knew right away from talking to him that he had no idea. I could tell right away he had no idea that they have it. And I'm sitting there going, this guy co-wrote the paper with Edward Teller. He co-wrote the paper with Edward Teller, and he has no idea that they've built fusion reactors out of his technology. How is that possible? And I'm thinking, and I'm going, that's how they've been able to hide it. I've spoken to literal billionaires that have no idea. I've spoken to PhD physicists that wrote the papers that have no idea. And that's exactly what would be required to keep this information compartmentalized in secret. You have to be able to control the minds of the most influential and elite people, including the engineers themselves. Disturbing, chat. Extremely, extremely disturbing. Now, keep this in mind. Somebody knows who built those orbs. And my guess is it has to be somebody that is connected to one of those papers. Specifically, if I had to guess, somebody on this list right here. Somebody in the chat, I forget who pushed me in this direction and pushed this idea. People are digging around trying to find out who that TMBSpaceships guy is, or TMBSpaceships. Somebody on this distribution list, this is the distribution list for teleportation physics study by Eric W. Davis. And this thing is a who's who. When you look at the distribution of who's getting this paper, like who did they send this to? You've got Dave Froning on here. You got Frank Mead. You've got George Hathaway. Why was George Hathaway getting a copy of this? You scroll down through this, you got Hal Puthoff, you got George Miley, you've got Mark Millis. Mark Millis denied an interview request with me, by the way. You got Paul Murad on here. You got Friedwart Winterberg on this thing. I mean, here's Bob Baker. Rest in peace, Bob Baker. This is like one of the leading experts in gravity wave physics. You look at this and I go, somebody on here knows who built the orbs, who figured them out. And we will get to the bottom of it. We will get to the bottom of who was in charge of figuring this thing out, because we've got all the incriminating evidence, the scientific papers, and who they've been getting distributed to. Somebody figured out how to teleport things by taking these fusion reactors and spinning them around. And I want to know who did it. I want to know who did it, or admit what you did to MH370, whichever comes first. Now, on the fusion reactor thing, major breakthrough. Major breakthrough, guys. This is actually so ridiculous that we're actually going to talk about this before we even talk about the general, missing general here, and all the weird stuff happening with that. I had to double check this because I didn't even believe it. 40 Tesla miniature magnets. What? Dude, what? This should be the #1 science story in the world right now. And I'm going to explain to you why in the most simple terms possible. Let's just read it first, though. Ultra high, by the way, another scientific paper. People have stopped saying I don't review scientific papers because we review 3 on average per stream at this rate. Honestly, we've lost track. We can't even keep count. There's so many. Ultra high magnetic fields enable substantial advancements across a wide range of scientific disciplines. Traditionally, steady fields above 40 Tesla have been achievable only with large resistive magnets that consume megawatts of power. So before, we couldn't make super powerful electromagnets unless we used a whole bunch of energy. Makes sense. Here, we demonstrate peak fields between 38 and 42 Tesla. I had to look and see if they forgot to put a period in there. I'm looking at this and I'm going, dude, did you mean 4.2? No, 40 Tesla? Just for some context here. The previous record, a year ago, the record for magnetic field in these magnets was 20 Tesla. And that was considered insane. 20 Tesla was the record. Now it's 40. We just doubled it. Just straight up doubled the magnetic field strength. Now, before we even go further, you say, Ashton, why is this important? Well, what is 2026, chat? It's a neutronic fusion disclosure, so I bet you can guess why this is going to be relevant. One of the key variables in fusion power is magnetic field strength. Do you know what the calculations are when it comes to fusion power related to magnetic field strength? It's B to the 4th. What does that mean? B stands for magnetic field strength. So take your magnetic field strength and multiply it by itself 4 times. So what does this mean? This means as your magnetic field strength goes up, the fusion power goes through the fucking roof. Goes through the fucking roof, chat. So, when you double your magnetic field strength from 20 Tesla to 40 Tesla, do you know how much more power that is than the previous record? 16 times more power. 16 times more power than the previous maximum record. 16 times more. Chat, this is so ridiculous. I was just on a live space on Monday explaining this to people, explaining that beta equals 1 is the highest possible efficiency. And do you know the only other relevant variable? B field. The B field is the other relevant variable. Number 1, if you want the most efficient fusion reactor, you want your beta to equal 1. That's the maximum use of your magnetic field strength. Number 2, you want the highest magnetic field strength possible. Those are the 2 variables that we want. And here's the trippiest thing about this. The company that is bragging about these superconductors, it's not Tri-Alpha Energy. It's not Helium Fusion. It's Commonwealth Fusion. It's the tokamak people. What? But the tokamak people have betas of 0.1. Their efficiency is only at the maximum 10% of what Tri-Alpha Energy and Helium Fusion's efficiency is. I called it, chat. The writing is on the wall. They're going to give us nerfed fusion. They're going to take these super powerful magnets, these 40 Tesla plus REBCO superconducting magnets, and they're going to turn them into fucking metal donuts. Pardon my French today, please. But I'm just a little pissed off. They're going to turn them into metal donuts that give us 10 cents on the dollar for what they could actually be doing. They are going to poop in our mouths and piss on all over us. And they're going to tell us that it's raining and that we should enjoy it. That we have been given the secret to ending the climate change crisis. All you have to do is pay 10 cents on the dollar for the same energy the government gets at 10 times the cheaper rate. And they're going to ban everything else. Everything. I don't even know what the narrative is going to be. They'll come up with something. They'll say a neutronic fusion reactor is hurting the indigenous snails underneath the ocean, underneath the dirt that you didn't know about. They will make something up and they will say the only true fusion is the metal donut that's 10% efficient. And yes, it's the overall efficiency is slightly better than solar, but we still need solar and we still need wind because our fusion's just not good enough to get rid of those things. This whole scam, chat, I see it coming a mile away. So when they break out their dumb tokamaks with 10% efficiency and all the SEALs are clapping, saying it's the greatest achievement in mankind ever, I want you to think back to this rant. I want you to think back and go, Ashton told me this is a fucking scam. And I sat there and I took my shit pie and I gobbled it up. Gobbled it up, chat. It's coming. Back to the stream or back to the content here. So, what did these guys do? They advanced material science. The two things that the aneutronic fusion people knew we needed to get the aneutronic fusion to work. One, super high powerful magnets just like this. Why? Because aneutronic fusion requires temperatures magnitudes higher than normal fusion. So if we want to get aneutronic fusion to work, we need power levels significantly higher than normal fusion. Well, goody. Aren't we in luck, chat? It turns out we got it. What a coincidence. We've been saying they secretly figured out fusion, and just now, they just magically just doubled the magnetic field strength overnight. Now, this is the thing. I don't know how anybody can look at this and not realize that fusion is now inevitable. In fact, I want to do a better clip. Here we go. Pretend like you didn't see that. 3, 2, 1. Take. Chat, I don't know how anybody can look at this and not realize that fusion is now inevitable. When you look at the power scaling for the magnetic field strength and realize it's either B to the third 3 or B to the 4th, then fusion becomes absolutely inevitable as you increase your magnetic field strength. And we just doubled it, meaning we just increased our fusion power 16 times over. Here's the best part. The best part, those same REBCO superconductors that you can use in your dumb metal donut for your 10% efficiency, we can use those same superconductors in our high beta, super efficient aneutronic fusion direct energy conversion reactors. Boom. So for the people wondering, how am I feeling about tri-alpha energy, about helium fusion? I'm feeling great about them. And that one libtard guy from the X-Space Missile Man, he was right about something. We are watching the public unveiling of this technology. Even John Santarius is correct. We're watching the public reveal an advancement of this technology, going from the Polywell IEC fusion reactor and advancing that to ion injection beams, and then advancing the ion injection beams to neutral injection beams. All the while advancing the lasers and making the lasers more powerful, and advancing the magnetic fields and making the magnetic field strengths more powerful. And then fusion becomes inevitable. So what I would challenge anyone out there, look at the math for a fusion reactor, plug in your 40 Tesla REBCO superconducting magnets, and realize you are easily going to achieve break-even conditions from just the math alone. Obviously, the engineering challenge is more complicated than that, but you must realize that fusion is not a pipe dream, that fusion is an absolute inevitable reality. And that's the main takeaway of this scientific paper, guys. Couldn't believe it when I saw it. It seems like one of the ways that they did this was they turned it into a tape. They turned it into a thin tape. And that's very interesting because this seems pretty similar to what Salvatore Pais had kind of proposed on his superconducting design, his superconducting patent that he had out there. Not exactly the same, but it makes me wonder if the thickness of the superconductor has some relationship to its properties, its physical properties, including its strength. Okay, next thing here, guys. Missing general. There is an update on the missing Major General McCasland. Finally, it's been 2 weeks since this guy's disappearance, and he has finally, the sheriff's department has released a timeline and information about what happened in his disappearance. Are you ready for this, guys? We might have actually stumbled across something ridiculous here. Here you go. The missing general's wife went to a doctor's appointment around 10 in the morning on the day that he disappeared. She was back home in under 1 hour. By 11 a.m., she's already back home. And her husband is missing. The general is gone. Earlier in the day, a TV or a repairman came to the house. His gun was missing. His shoes were missing. But his cell phone was left behind. And his prescription glasses were left behind. Now, I don't know about you, chat, but to me, this is not somebody deciding to go for a hike. This is somebody trying to disappear. The biggest piece of evidence is that the dude literally waited for his wife to leave to go to the doctor's appointment, and the man just sprinted out of the house. Guys, even those of us who are not married, we can all relate to this feeling. We know what's going on here. He's Audi 5000. Now, this is crazy because to me now, there's only 2 possibilities. To me now, either this guy intentionally disappeared himself or somebody else disappeared this guy. Either somebody came in with a gun and was like, time to go, or this guy disappeared himself. And the timing of it, like waiting for his wife to leave and then immediately disappearing after that, to me, that implies he knew what he was doing. Whether or not he had help or what have you, he knew what he was doing. They also found an Air Force sweatshirt or sweatpants about a mile away. And normally I would say probably not going to be connected to the general. However, given the circumstances we have here, it seems like it could be connected to the general. And that the general basically waited for the wife to leave, bounced out as fast as he could, and if he was too hot or something, just threw the clothes on the ground. And then my guess is he was going to a rendezvous point where he's going to get picked up, and then he's just gone. Now he's in the wind. Now, why is this so troubling? I'm literally having a hard time sleeping over this situation for multiple reasons. But number one reason is that Trump just said, we're going to get UFO disclosure. We're going to get UFO disclosure. And now we got major generals who are the commander of the Air Force research labs where that teleportation physics study that I just showed you was being conducted, disappearing off the face of the earth, vanishing. And they're not the only one. They're not the only one, guys. If you've been following my content, you probably know that I'm the one that has been promoting, although I'm not going to take full credit for this, promoting the idea that this account, TMBSpaceships, is in fact the missing general. By promoting this, I mean just pushing the idea out there in social media. Here's the reality of the situation. As the few days have gone by, I'm less and less convinced that this account is the missing general. Reason being, there are several anecdotes within his posts that are personal anecdotes of lived life experiences. And they don't generally seem to line up with the general, like the ranking being wrong, or have a personal sighting in Texas when the general was potentially not in Texas during that year. So I'm not really convinced that it's necessarily the general. But here's the counter side, the flip side of it. The flip side of it is this account is definitely in the know. And they're definitely a real Air Force research or Air Force engineer. And they also disappeared at the exact same time as the general did. It's actually so uncanny. Their most recent post was 30 minutes before the general disappeared. This last post on February 27th was 30 minutes before the general was never seen again. And their whole account is dedicated to UFO physics, plasma research, anti-gravity technologies. Their whole account. And it's not woo-woo stuff. It's literally like scientific books, scientific papers, over and over and over again. Now, so there are two possibilities going on here, in my opinion. One, that is really the missing general. And holy shit, send me the next Pulitzer Prize. There you go. Number two, it's not the missing general. And we've got multiple UFO Air Force engineers that are on the lam. They're in the wind. They're gone. Decided to just magically go dark at the exact same time. Now, the crazy part is this. Even if that's not the general, the experience and the age of those two people, the general and TMBSpaceships, they must know each other. Do you get it? Even if that TMBSpaceships is not the general, he knows the general. He must know the general. The general would have been in the top position while he was in the Air Force research labs or in the Air Force as an engineer. So he would have absolutely known the general. So even if it's not the general, he would have known the general, no doubt. So I'm just sitting here going, this is like something is happening here. I can't exactly figure out what's going on, but we've got orbs flying around in New York City. We got Lockheed Martin taking the orbs for a walk. We've got a war happening in Iran. We've got UFO disclosure that's supposed to happen. And now we've got major generals disappearing and random Air Force X accounts also vanishing. You want to know the craziest part? Didn't think this live stream could get any crazier than all the stuff I've already revealed here. But people started digging through this guy's account. As you just saw there, Chris Sharp of the Liberty Times, whatever it is. It sounds like he's about to do an article about this. And he's asking, has anybody got DMs from this account? You should probably read the DMs that I got from that account. Yeah. I got a DM from that account that told me I should write a letter to DNI Tulsi Gabbard about the MH370 videos. Yeah. So, just between us, I do hope that account is the missing general. I hope that account's the missing general, because if so, he just handed me MH370 disclosure on a silver platter. Because that means that for the rest of my life, I get to say that a major general Air Force commander of the commander of the Air Force Research Labs told me to send a letter to the DNI to reveal those videos. That'd be pretty nice. I don't think it's going to be the case, but it'd be pretty nice. Here you go, chat. Here's the big boom. You are looking at a hand-drawn schematic by TMBSpaceships. This is a hand schematic. I'll get rid of the comments here so you can take a very, very good look at it. Have a good read of what this says on your screen. Top right. Top right says, ion pumpy thing for Ashton. Well, chat, Ashton is me. So this guy's out here making hand-drawn schematics. Clearly would have taken several hours, in my opinion, even for this crude approximation, specifically for Ashton Forbes. Neat. What are we looking at, chat? Do you know what we're looking at? I didn't know what I was looking at when this image was first sent to me like a year ago or whenever it was that this guy sent this. I was just looking at this and I was like, this looks legit. I don't know what it is, though. This is a fusion reactor. Yes, chat. You are looking at a fusion reactor. In fact, it is so similar that it could probably be mistaken for one of Tri-Alpha Energy's or Helium Fusion's fusion reactors. You've got your magnetic confinement region. You've got your Z-pinch function on the right. You've got your propulsion being shot out. You've got your injectors somewhere down around here. It uses a different fuel. I think he talks about using a mercury fuel here. But it says right down here in the bottom left, wire-fed metal ions. Ion gas seed. Remember, you're shooting ions into your field reverse configuration plasma for your fusion reactions. This guy hand drew me a fusion reactor. Well, well, well. Isn't that interesting? The guy whose account's missing, who's an Air Force engineer, who might be the literal missing general, was doing hand drawings, extremely detailed hand drawings, I might add, of fusion reactors, calling it a ion pumpy thing for Ashton, closed cycle plasma amplifier, dynamic plasma alternator. Wow. Holy shit, chat. Oh, man, I'm watching this go down, and I'm just thinking, I don't even care if people believe. I don't even care if people believe anymore. At this point, all we have to do is make sure nobody can say we didn't tell them. All we have to do is keep repeating that we've got fusion reactors, and not specifically a neutronic fusion reactors that nobody believes we can do. We've got them. Not only do we got them, but they're particle accelerators. And if we spin them around and do some magical shit, we can make planes teleport. And the best part is we know it's inevitable. It's just inevitable. We've got the REBCO superconductors that are going to enable it. They're staring at them. So now all we have to do is sit back and watch. We can just sit back and go, okay, who doesn't believe we have it? Go ahead, raise your hand. I dare you to raise your hand and say that we don't have fusion. Please do. Put yourself on the record. I want you to. I just want to make sure everybody knows I said that we've got a neutronic fusion reactor orbs flying around in the sky, because ain't nobody else in this world saying that shit right now. Let's take it back a minute here, guys. Let's watch some videos. Now, there's been some interesting stuff going on. There's more stuff even going on that I can't talk about. I'll let other people talk about the stuff that's going on. But what I'll say is that people should watch Congressman Burlison. From my personal interactions with Congressman Burlison, from watching what he's doing on social media, he may not be the most effectual, but he is getting the most done by far. Screw Anna Polina Luna, screw Nancy Mace, and all the rest of the people. Congressman Burlison is actually going to the sites, talking to the people, and getting the stuff done. And if there's anybody Trump should put in charge of the UFO thing, it's Congressman Burlison, because he clearly is the most in the know. Now, that's also kind of like being the best in the Special Olympics, but we'll take what we can get, chat. We'll take what we can get. Okay, videos. Let's start with this one. Congressman Burlison has been doing the podcasts. I might invite him on, too. Maybe do a short podcast. But I want to wait until Burlison's a little more up to speed before we talk, because I want him to realize this stuff's not all cuckoo stuff. Here we go.
But I am for sure and certain that there is a form of really advanced physics or an area of physics that we have never seen, a level of technology that we do not have the capabilities of, and it's almost terrifying. The last revelations that I have seen is if you know, whether it's China or it's either way, it's an ontological shock.
That very telling. Very telling. What did you guys feel? If you are like me, when you saw the MH370 videos the first time you said, what is that? What is that? It's obviously some bullshit. But when you started to dig into them and realize the videos were real, you had ontological shock. You start wondering, well, what else isn't real? Well, if we have this kind of technology, like, what else have I been getting lied to about? If we knew what we did to that missing plane and CNN was blurring about it for months and months and months and nobody said anything and everybody just ate it up, what else can they lie to us about? You have a massive ontological shock. And when you realize we can teleport things, literally teleport things, whatever you want to call it, right? Wormhole, magnetic wormhole, railgun, quantum teleportation, quantum tunneling. It's fucking teleportation. If something goes zip, zap, and zaps over here suddenly, that's teleportation, man. I don't care how you pulled it off. It's teleportation. And when you see that, you question everything. And that's the exact impression that I get from Congressman Burlison, is that this guy has been convinced, and he's probably seen something that he now knows, no doubt. There's something going on out there. And what I like about Burlison is that he's not one to immediately blame aliens. He's open to the idea of aliens. I've spoken to him personally. I don't think he has any problem with it, even though he's religious, etc. But that he's open to the idea that the U.S. government, our defense contractors, could have advanced this technology and figured it out ourselves. And that's going to be extremely important because we know they have. We know they figured it out. That's the part we're sure about. The part we're not sure about is the aliens. The part we are sure about is the U.S. government absolutely has got some orbs and teleportation technology.
Well, General McAsland definitely...
Wait. What? Did he just say the general's name?
Well, General McCasland.
Okay. Chat, I've told you guys that I have psychic powers. It's undeniable. I've got something called a spider sense. It tells me when there's fuckery afoot. I'm also able to detect woke people at vast distances. It's a power that I've had since I've been young. I'm sitting here watching this and I'm going, my spider sense is going crazy right now. Why is Congressman Burlison bringing up the missing general all of a sudden? Why is all of a sudden mainstream media suddenly talking about missing general? Let's figure out. Let's not even speculate. Here we go.
Definitely is connected to the UAP topic, and I know that he is someone that we have been wanting to try to talk to. I know Grush has attempted to communicate with him, and he's been actually. I'm surprised that anything is happening or that has something that has happened to him, given the fact that he has been pretty difficult to communicate on. Every time that anybody's reached out to him, he said that he has nothing to say on the
what? Dude, what are you? Dude, I'm gonna start crying, dude. Is law enforcement just fucking useless? Is law enforcement just useless? This guy, the UFO people, the Congress is trying to reach out to this guy to whistleblow about UFOs, and he fucking vanishes in the middle of the day while his wife's out getting at the doctor's. And these guys are trying to paint the picture like he just went on a hike and decided that was it. This is gonna be the last hike I'm gonna go on. Just wandered out into the desert. Like, yeah, wife went out to the doctor's. I'm gonna leave my phone at home and go wander into the desert. And then they're making jokes about the UFO thing. Congressman Burlison's staff, David Grush, is on Burlison's staff. He's trying to reach out to the general to get him to talk about UFOs. Dude, what the fuck is that? Chat, we're in the middle of some kind of movie or some shit going on right here. What is this? What the fuck is going on? Seriously, what is going on? Okay, could just finish, I guess.
Topic. So maybe I don't know, but he certainly, we believe that he has a lot to say about this topic.
Just seems like a pants on fire moment for a guy like him, whether there's UFO involvement or not. For him to just vanish, possibly abducted by foreign interests or others, that's a huge moment. Now the story's kind of picking up steam in mainstream media finally, but geez, it seems like it should be front and center.
Dude, how is this not bigger news, man? How is Savannah Guthrie's mom, whatever, national news? I don't even know who the hell that is. Never even heard of the person before. Like, well, she's on the TV. Like, it's her mom. No one knows about it. No one cares. We got a major general unambiguously connected to the UFO community. Congress people's staffers are trying to reach out to them to get them to talk in closed skiffs or whatever the hell. And then they suddenly vanish in the most suspicious circumstances possible. And nobody seems to care. Am I the only real human being on this planet? Is everybody else just a robot? I'm starting to actually wonder. How have I not gone crazy yet? The CIA must wonder. The CIA must be wondering, like, we've psyoped this guy with everything. How come he won't have a mental break? How come he keeps pushing further? Chat, I keep telling you, I have unlimited resilience. It doesn't matter. You can send 1 million slop tubers to debunk me, to attack me, to say that I'm a fraud. You can tell me that my ideas are dumb. You can say the physics doesn't exist. Nothing can stop this. Nothing can stop this. We're gonna get some Jarvis orbs. That's all we want. Look, do we have to put a list of demands? Number 1, say what you did about the missing plane. Number 2, Jarvis orbs for everybody. Free Jarvis orbs for everybody. I'm going to run for president. I only have one policy: free Jarvis orbs for everybody. You get a little floating orb that follows you around. You can talk to it. You can do whatever you want. Treat it like a Tamagotchi. It's going to be great. Number three. You know what? We don't even need the unlimited fusion. Just give us something better than the metal donut. I just don't want the metal donut. Look, call me petty. Call me petty. It's ugly. It's ugly and it's stupid and I don't like it. Come up with some other fusion. Just make it anything other than the metal donut. I'll let you psyop us. I'll let you give us the Nerf version of the fusion, so long as it's not a stupid metal donut. Three demands. That's it. I feel like we're not asking for a lot, chat. I feel like we're not asking for a lot. Okay, more clips. I don't know if this is the same one. Wait, do I have it? Oh, I want to highlight this person real quick. Shout out to Truth Poll. Truth Poll obviously throwing a little bit of a bone here to the MH370 community, saying the U.S. government can easily teleport all the tankers from one side of the Strait of Hormuz to the other. Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, now is your time to shine. Use the reverse engineered orbs. Easy repost. Easy repost. This is the kind of memes I like, chat. I like these memes because this is how you break through the disinformation. This is how, when they reveal the magical plasma orbs that can teleport things, this is how the normies' minds don't break. Because the normies, they will see the teleportation, they'll go, oh, I saw that in a meme. That's funny. That can be real. And you may say, Ashton, that's stupid. People aren't that dumb. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's how it works, chat. Memes dictate reality. Now, what else do I have for us here? I wasn't even going to do this, but we're going to have a shorter live stream tonight. So I want to show this here real quick. Two more quick things. Number one, Jeremy Corbell. You know what? Missile Man was right about another thing. He was right about two things, Chad. One of my haters was right about two things. He said, Ashton, it was pathetic the way that you went up to what's his name? Jeremy Corbell. And he's right. At the contact in the desert, I tried to make amends with Jeremy Corbell. I thought maybe this guy is a normal dude. Maybe he's not a complete phony theater kid wannabe. And I saw him up there talking to like AJ's brother and a few people I didn't really recognize. So I go there to try to introduce myself. And he basically tries to high road me. He basically tries to high road me to like, yeah, I'm too cool for you kind of situation. Like, so yes. That was definitely one of the more embarrassing moments for me, to be getting high-roaded by some dorky theater kid loser that's a pretend wannabe UFOologist. So I learned a very valuable lesson, which was, I have absolutely a negative respect for Jeremy Corbell. Negative respect for Jeremy Corbell. Everybody in his sphere of influence, I could not have any less respect for. None of them are ever going to do or disclose anything related to UFOs in the rest of their lives. But I, at the same time, I have nothing personal against them and wish them the best. Anyway, why do I bring this up? Here's Jeremy Corbell. Because this clip really gets to the heart of who this guy is. Here you go.
To make sure I said this on record to you, so that it is on record that I've said this to a sitting congressperson, which is that I'm not sure that you are aware, but congressional record was fabricated on one of the times that we did a UAP hearing. It was the time that they chose.
Wait. Dude, is this about when Nancy Mace said that Michael Schellenberger gave her the document that was some random document that they uploaded to their. That's what this is about, isn't it? It is about that. Oh my God, chat. Oh my God. How pathetic of a loser are you, dude? So Michael Schellenberger gets invited in the UFO hearing that was a complete joke, and he had no reason to be invited. The guy doesn't know anything about UFOs. He's barely a journalist, and he gets invited to be on the hearing. Nancy Mace incorrectly says that Michael Schellenberger gave her a document when technically the document was from Jeremy Corbell through Michael Schellenberger. Jeremy Corbell has a complete meltdown over this. He turns it into some drama-esque Kardashian series where Congress has been lied to. Like, this is the biggest thing ever. And here he is, like years later, somehow still butthurt over it, saying, I just need this to be on the record that the congressional record was manipulated. Dude, nobody fucking cares. You're the only human being on the whole world that gives any shit about this. It doesn't matter at all. It makes no difference whatsoever. There's no disclosures happening from the fact that you handed this, then not him. What the hell is wrong with you, dude? Can you guys imagine me being like, I need this to be on the record. This needs to be official. I was the person who posted on social media about General William McCasland. Bro, what? How self-important do you think you are?
Was a journalist named Michael Schellenberger. I wanted to make sure I said.
Honestly, just wow. One of the major things I realized, sad as this is to say, is that a vast majority of the UFO community are just theater kids playing pretend. They're just LARPing, playing pretend. They don't really understand science. They don't really understand physics. And I question whether or not they even care about aliens. I question whether they even care about aliens. And they're just out here. Basically, the drama is what it's all about. And the problem I have with this, normally I wouldn't give a shit. Normally I wouldn't care at all. Do whatever the hell you want. The problem is these people are muddying the waters with a bunch of garbage nonsense. And this is a very serious situation. We've got generals disappearing. We've got people testifying to our Congress people about what kind of technologies there are, whether or not we have them or our adversaries. The last thing we need is some self-absorbed piece of shit pretending like some document no one gives a shit about is the most important thing. We don't care about that. We just want to know what the truth is about the UFOs. We just want to know about the fusion technologies. We just want to know about the propulsive mechanisms that will let us live on another solar system. So you're probably not going to see me collaborate with any of these people because I don't do any of that stuff. I don't like the theater kid crap. I just want to tell you what the answers are and then go play video games and be done. That's all I want to do, chat. And in the vein of that, chat, we're going to call it here. Early live stream tonight, guys. Oh, one more thing, actually, that I thought was interesting. Where is it? I want to share this. Make sure I get these here. Oh, two more things. One more thing connecting John Santarius. I want you to look at this. Like, because this is the thing, I like talking to the guys that actually built this is so illuminating. How can there be so many scientific papers and they just think that the government, what? Just like, do they not believe in their own research? This is what I can't figure out. Do they not think that the government has access to material technology and science beyond the public? Because if I'm the government, let me tell Professor Santarius exactly what happened. They took his paper here. This is 1990. 1990. Space fusion energy conversion using field reverse configuration. 1990. George Miley, John Santarius. Boom. There it is. What they did, they took his research. They said, oh, what does his research say we need? It says we need super powerful lasers. And it says we need super powerful magnetic fields. And you know what they said? They said, oh, we have those. We have those because we do nuclear weapons and secret stuff that nobody knows about. So we have those technologies. We just can't tell you about them. And then they just built this shit. And they didn't tell him. They were like, oh, you just already gave us the papers. You already told us what we got to do to build it. We'll just build it now. Like, a lot of these are really detailed, too. I don't know if this particular one has schematics, but the other ones have, like, schematics in them. And this is how I'm able to recognize, like, TMBSpaceships. Because now I recognize the schematics because I've been looking at these fusion schematics for so long. Look at this image right here. Magnetic confinement configurations. They're showing you right there the magnetic mirror and the FRCs. Take a look at this. Look at the benefits. Again, this was 1990. We're reading this now in 2026, 36 years later. And we're looking at this and we know what this all means. Like, look at this graph right here. Specific impulse, field reverse configuration, good. Thrust, average. Beta, good. We know what beta means. Beta is the measure of efficiency. And they're saying right there, beta on field reverse configuration is super high. This is important. So these, I don't know how anybody can look at this because you've given the government the blueprints. You've given the government the blueprints on why neutronic fusion reactors are the answer. And then you're just going, well, nobody's figured it out. They haven't built it. What? Not only have they built it, but people are thinking that the UFOs, these things are UFOs. Look at this. Look at all this field reverse configuration thing. Look at this. And here, this one right here, this is why the orbs spin. There's something on the inside spinning like this. The spin is essential for developing the current and for stability. So you've got this ring on the inside spinning like this, and then you've got the fields going over it and around it, creating your field reverse configuration. That's almost certainly what's going on in the orbs in the MH370 videos. This is why I say I want to talk to George Miley next. Because if John Santarius is not involved, well, we just crossed one name off the list. Pretty good chance somebody else on one of these papers here is directly connected to getting those orbs built. The other thing I wanted to show, where is it? Oh, where is it? Oh, I think I put it in my bookmarks. One sec, guys. Yeah, it's in my bookmarks. That's why I couldn't find it. Who did this research? UFOs around the world. Now, I don't know what to make of this, but I want to share this anyway because we've been having a pretty good hot streak. UFOs around the world. I think he's pretty big on either TikTok or Insta. Says that he thinks this website somehow connects the general to the X account. I don't really understand the context of how he thinks this, but he says, I think this website shows the X account is his, as when you type that full name in, I found this website. So I don't know what the connection is here, but I pulled this up, and it's pretty interesting. Some random weird website, and if you scroll down through it far enough, I haven't read through all of this yet, guys. There's the general. The general's right there. Air Force Research Lab Space Vehicles Director Colonel William McCasland, presented with the Small Business Award for the year 2002. This was 24 years ago. What are the chances that fusion gets set in here? Nope, no fusion. Interesting. So there may be a rabbit hole here. Oh, sorry. You guys weren't even looking at the link. My bad. I'm just realizing. Hold on. This was the link I was showing you. There you go. This is the link. This is the image. So this is the hyperlink that was shown. I'm looking through fusion. I did not see anything specifically related to fusion, but they could talk about nuclear maybe. Yeah. Nuclear propulsion maybe. Yep. Okay. So this paper here, or this document here, has General William McCasland. If somebody can find any connection. Now, the reason why I brought this up, the reason why I shared this is because even if that account, TMBSpaceships, is not the general, it's possible he's somebody else in one of these photos. It's possible he knows who the general, he knows the general personally. It's possible both of their disappearances are possibly connected. Possible they're connected. So there you guys go. Just wanted to share that. One more thing. I want to give credit to the person who found the thing. Shout out to Squirrel Gone Nuts at Squirrel Gone NU1. At Squirrel Gone NU1. Shout out to you. You're the person that sent me the DM a week after the general disappeared saying, hey, have you looked into the fact this guy's account has been offline since the same day the general has? I saw that. I went and looked at the account, and I made that Twitter post like a week ago. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate you, sir. Guys, let's go to the super chats today. John Glock, brother, hope everything's going well. Was just talking about the missing general. He doesn't know much. Told him, oh, Jordan Sather was just talking about it. Told him to come over. He said he did a show with you 2 years ago. Yes. Jordan Sather is good. Jordan Sather has been talking about this. Jordan also understands about free energy, understands about Tesla. Our interview was actually really good. I still remember it to this day because you don't talk to a lot of people that have researched this topic and come to the same conclusions, especially without having seen the MH370 videos. It's one thing to say that free energy is possible when you're watching a plane get teleported. It's another thing to say that free energy is possible when you don't have any real hard evidence. So, let's see what else we got. Awake Not Woke gifted the can. Go. Thank you very much, everybody in the Pill chat. And then everybody in our Rumble chat, Laughing Cat and Double M's, thank you guys for hanging out and chilling with us. And then our YouTube super chats. YouTube Algo Boost. Beep, beep. Thanks, Ashton. Thank you very much, Lone Wolves 36. Appreciate you. Sam Fisher, are the orbs only accelerating particles internally, or are they also accelerating the particles between the three of them? They're creating an azimuthal magnetic field. So you can imagine, just like Bob Grenier said when we first met Bob Grenier, they're making a donut-shaped magnetic field around the plane. And due to this formation, it creates a null zone right in the middle. If you were to add up all the magnetic fields, you create 0 right in the middle. What this means is that the middle is like the safety zone. It's almost like they're creating the fields all around it, right? Like when you're in the car, you don't feel the wind hitting you, right? Because the car is blocking the wind from hitting you. But if you put your hand out the window, your hand gets sucked back, right? Same idea. The car in this situation is the magnetic field surrounding our plane. And you can push the whole thing without physically pushing the plane itself. That's how it works. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's why I say it's like a magnetic rail gun. Because you're spinning those things up and you're snapping them, and then it's just shooting the whole works, the whole region from one location to the next. This is how we get around the inertia problem and why the plane doesn't melt. My channel gives the donation. He says, for the ID10Ts, that's supposed to be ID10T, I think, that want Ashton to reverse their configuration. Oh, for the ladies that want Ashton to reverse their configuration. Thank you very much, my channel. You're funny, brother. XLX Squeeze says, remember when I said Taurus and then I swapped to Sphere? Those fools are still behind me. it is pretty interesting how definitely torus shapes, donut shapes do matter, but it turns out poloidal configurations, not the donut shaped configuration, the Earth shaped configuration with the axial jets. That seems to be the one that at least the MH370 videos are employing. What that means is that reactor is called a linear reactor. A linear reactor is like a tube, meaning stuff shoots out the jets. A non-linear reactor would be a circle, a donut, because it's completely closed. So ironically, most people would have thought that a non-linear reactor is going to be what creates fusion because it traps everything. But it turns out the linear reactor that sucks stuff in and spits stuff out, that reactor seems to beat everybody to the punch. In fact, who knows? Maybe that's the only way it's possible. Broly GTA 4 PS 394 says, what's real is the ether. We are the projection. The real thing is the medium that we are in. Exactly. It's not the fields that are real. It's the potentials that are real. You could almost imagine that the ether is the thing that's real, and we're just following the path that the ether lays before us. That would probably be a more accurate way to think about how we traverse through the universe, even though it seems weird from how we experience our reality. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Short stream for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got a little bit of information about this. Hopefully, you can explain what plasma is. Hopefully, you can now explain why a non-equilibrium plasma, far from equilibrium, will self-organize and create our plasmoid. And that this is the main basis for TAE's fusion, LPP's fusion, and Helium's fusion as well. Have a great night, guys. We will be back. I'm going to get the quick plug, and thank you, Raising Cane, for those gold pills. You are awesome. Can you provide a link to that hyperlink on fusion? Maybe. I think I just closed it, actually, guys. Which I don't know which link you want, actually. Maybe it's this one you want. I do have this one. Here you go. Here you go, my Raising Cane. Let's do a quick plug for Michael Herrera. I'm going to get that interview out. I'll put it out for Sunday. Michael Herrera interview Sunday. It's going to drop around 1 p.m. on Sunday. And the reason why this interview is so good is that I got to talk to Michael Herrera about his UFO sighting. Here's the little spoiler I'll give you. I asked specifically about the people that he saw that were around the UFO. What accent did they have? And he said he knew they were Americans. They had American accents. They were clearly military and were using military protocols. And so I dig into the whole sighting of Michael Herrera in Indonesia, seeing the UFO, seeing the people extracting something from the region. And we dig into it. We dig into what this technology is, why they've been hiding it, and who's been hiding it. So check it out, guys. It's a great interview. Have a great night, MH370X. I'll talk to you later. We'll see you later on Monday. Bye.
In the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
exotic matter. Negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum squeeze so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound, a shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear. Exploring the